I'm so sad, y'all. And there's really no other way to really say it. I can feel the weight of this sadness in my body. It's heavy, it's sharp, and it's unbearable. And I wouldn't wish this feeling on anyone. And to anyone who is living like this, you have my deepest sympathies, truly. The other day, Eric turned 30, and it was just so hard for me to just be happy to celebrate him. I could not hold back the tears. And my children, they just wanted to comfort me. But that is not their burden to carry, and I don't want that for them. They deserve joy without interruption. But this is now the second birthday that we have been forced to celebrate without her. And it's just not the same. We feel the void. We live in that void. Can you imagine the pain of your own children grieving their sibling like this? Because she was forcibly taken in front of them. It's not just hard, it's trauma. It's psychological violence. And it's a wound that we carry every single day. And what is the system doing about it? Dragging their feet like any of this is okay, like this is legal, lawful, or tolerable, and it's not. And I refuse to let them pretend otherwise. We miss Nevaeh. We should not miss Nevaeh, because she should have never been taken. And it's hard to feel like we don't matter when everyone is just watching in silence. I shouldn't have to beg for support. And I shouldn't have to escalate to be heard. I shouldn't have to wait for justice like it's a luxury I have to earn. What exactly am I waiting for? This should have never reached this point, and it only did because the system is built on control and not accountability. I am done giving my power away. I shouldn't have to keep showing up here and fighting for my rights. I shouldn't have to create document after document just to be treated like a mother, like a human being. I should have never had to make this document because my daughter should have never been taken. And the ongoing harm is destroying my family. But here we are. Statement for the record. Date September 11, 2025. By Heaven-Marshay Hope, regarding 30 days of unlawful separation, ongoing harm, systemic negligence, and familiar trauma, to whom it may concern. As of today, it has been over 30 days since my minor daughter, Nevaeh Naomi Nash, was forcibly kidnapped from my custody. And that act was both unlawful and procedurally defective. Let the record reflect that this is the longest separation I've ever endured from my child. It is absolutely unacceptable. Under any legal, ethical, or moral standard, especially in complete absence of verified harm, neglect, or misconduct on my part. Every act of misconduct, negligence, and violence lies squarely with the defendants and the system they represent. The truth is undeniable. This is not a crime committed by the guardian. This is a record of crimes committed by the system, and it continues daily, relentlessly, and with devastating impact. Nevaeh is well loved, well provided for, and a spiritually guided child. My lawful guardianship has never been rebutted. I have submitted sworn affidavits, notices, and declarations accompanied by certified copies of both her certificate of live birth and authenticated birth certificate, which explicitly named me, Heaven-Marshay Holt, as her lawful guardian and mother. Yet, despite this record, I was subjected to a violent home raid, unlawfully detained, and my daughter was kidnapped under the color of law. Following this raid, I was subjected to a full criminal process, and my fingerprints were taken, my mugshot captured, and a new case was opened in Bedford Municipal Court. When I stated that I have not committed a crime, the judge nevertheless raised my bond by $1,500. I sought the provided documents, UCC 1-308, without prejudice, reserving my rights, and I was then abruptly released. No remedy was given and no lawful justification provided. This contradiction speaks for itself. If I was truly guilty, there would be lawful charges and prosecution. If I were not guilty, there would be no lawful basis to raid my home, detain me, and process me, and raise a bond against me. Either case, the actions were unlawful, retaliatory, and abusive. To this day, no one has provided a lawful basis for what occurred. There was no emergency, crime, no hearing affording due process, only a great, egregious abuse of power that shattered a peaceful household and inflicted deep emotional wounds on an innocent family. We can't celebrate without Waya. That is not just a phrase. That is my son's voice mourning the absence of his sister on birthdays, at the dinner table, in everyday moments that we will never get back. This is a childhood trauma being written into their lives in real time, solely because the system chose control over correction. This should have never reached appeals court. This should have never reached federal review. And it sure as hell should have never reached my doorstep like a criminal invasion. But it did, because justice was denied and remedy was withheld at every level. I am not the criminal in this experience. I am the mother, the lawful guardian, the living woman who has been attacked, violated, and silenced by a system that refuses accountability. My doorstep was not theirs to invade. My family was not theirs to fracture, and my daughter was not theirs to steal. Let me be absolutely clear. Charging for daily harm does not mean the harm is acceptable. Nothing about this is okay. Not the delay, not the silence, not the psychological warfare disguised as procedure. I have honored every law. I have exercised every right. I have issued every notice. I have done my part. So I demand the immediate return of my daughter, not after a bureaucratic delay, not when it's convenient now. To allow this unlawful separation to continue is to sanction further injury. It is not just negligence, it is retaliation, obstruction, and institutional abuse. It is an act of power amplified into trauma. And let the record reflect, I am not the one playing games. This is my life. These are my children. And the harm is real, and the impact is permanent. Let the record reflect that the defendant, Isaiah Miles Nash, has permitted contact with Nevaeh Naomi Nash only when convenient for him, not for her well-being, and certainly not for the continuity and emotional needs of our family. This selective control has caused ongoing and compounding harm each day. I am forced to explain to my children that we can only attempt to reach their sister, and we must wait powerlessly for her to return the call if allowed. Its pattern of control is not new. It's a continuation of the defendant's documented behavior of leveraging my daughter against me. But since the service of federal complaint the harm has intensified. The defendant has now withheld Nevaeh entirely, denying all conflict, inflicting deep emotional distress on her siblings, myself, and her father. Let me be absolutely clear. This only became because Nevaeh was unlawfully removed from my lawful custody and handed to the defendant without my consent, without due process, and without lawful justification. This is not co-guardianship. This is coercive control enabled by systemic failure and is harming an innocent child and her family every single day. I would like to pause there really fast because I'm so fucking sick of people and just attempting to project and make decisions for myself and my child. This is not your child. This is my child. How I choose to raise my children is nobody's business. It does not concern anybody else. This is not... I have never attempted to keep her from him. I don't understand. He was in prison. I couldn't do anything about that. When he got out of prison, I already shared that the door was open. It was not enough for him, and that is not my fucking burden to carry. I am not obligated to meet somebody else's expectations because they have created this narrative in their head of, as far as what things are supposed to look like. If you have been absent for a child's life their entire lifespan until you are released from prison, you cannot get the fuck out and start making demands. That is not how this works. I have been the only present party with the man that raised me besides her, which was not fucking him, that has taken care of her whole life. This is not the same thing, and I never tried to keep her from him. It's just, I was not able to meet him how he needed to be met, and that is not my fault. I did everything I can. I did everything right. I gave chances. I communicated. I was supportive. I was kind. I found visitation centers. I don't want to talk to him. His biggest problem is that I don't want to talk to him. I don't have anything to say to him. I do not want to be his friend. I do not like him. I shouldn't be forced to talk to him. I only have to call him because they kidnapped my child and they gave her to him. We could have been started visitation centers at Safe and Sound Center at the beginning of the year, and there's so much was avoidable, and it's just driving me crazy, and I miss my daughter, and it's not fucking fair. It's just not fair, and I'm so sad, and I'm so angry at everybody, and it's just too much. It's too much. It's so much. It's not fair. It's just not fair. And I want my baby back. Oh my God, I want my baby back so bad. Statement of harm and ongoing impact. This prolonged separation is not just unacceptable, it is criminal. It is systemic obstruction, administrative retaliation, and willful harm. I have never been without my child for this long, and we are all suffering because of it. While I remain the safe space for my children, I have watched them attempt to become that for me, and that just should never have been their burden. Their innocence was stolen. Their joy was interrupted, and now they carry pain that they did not choose, and grief that never should have touched them. When my son looked at me and said, "We're missing a piece of the puzzle because Waya is missing," I knew the damage was real, lasting, and unforgivable. Statement of emotional grief and familiar displacement. The pain that we carry is not confined to the heart. It has spilled into our environment, altering the spirit of our home, the texture of our days, and the safety of our surroundings. My daughter's absence is not just felt emotionally. It is seen in the stillness of the rooms that she once danced through, in the silence of spaces that once filled In spaces once filled with her laughter, her toothbrush sits untouched, her chair remains empty. Her sibling glance at the door, hoping today is the day that she will return. We do not merely grieve the loss of presence, we grieve the disruption of place. This separation has fractured the ecosystem of our home. It has displaced our rhythm, disrupted our emotional climate, and poisoned what once felt sacred. I have taken my children outside for air, for relief, for reprieve, but even the outdoors remind us of what we've lost. Every place we once visited together now echoes with her absence. Parks, trails, streets, each holds memory and now grief. This is environmental grief. This is the kind that makes you breathe shallow because the air no longer feels safe. The kind that makes you ache in familiar places because someone is missing from them. We are a family displaced by legal violence, displaced from routine, displaced from peace, displaced from each other. And yet the world continues expecting us to function, to comply, to wait for what? Another delay, for another piece of paper, while time, memories, and milestones are stolen from us. Let the record reflect this harm is not confined to law or paper. It is lived, it is felt, it is carried in bodies and spaces and in silence. We need Nevaeh back at home. We need our family back whole. And we need the return of not just the child, but the restoration of the environment she belongs in. This behavior has never reflected lawful concern or professional duty. Instead, it has consistently revealed ignorance of the law and arrogance in this abuse. It is not confusion, this is comfortability. And that is the most dangerous posture any public servant can take, comfortable in harm, proud in silence, and arrogant in power. Let the record reflect, this is not protection, this is corruption. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Martin Luther King Jr. I am not behind, I am aligned. I speak the law of truth, not fear. Every false structure around me must fall. My words hold weight, my light reveal life, and I stand protected spiritually, lawfully, and divinely. All rights reserved, all submissions made in truth, honor, and in good faith by Heaven-Marshay, Hope, Living Woman, Lawful Guardian, Authorized Representative. All rights reserved without prejudice, UCC 1-308. I am not asking for anything that isn't rightfully mine, from my daughters to basic remedy. For the court to allow this to continue is not only further harm, it is unjust, it's corrupt, and it's a gross abuse of power. This is my life. These are my children, and I'm tired of being treated like we do not matter. I am not asking for validation. I am demanding what is mine, and they can't keep pretending that they have the right to withhold it.